sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome back to Pot's Movie Dungeon. So this is Sunday, March the 5th, when I'm filming this. I went and seen Creed 3 yesterday in theaters, me and my wife, and I did enjoy the movie. The movie was a good movie. It was a good boxing movie, had a good story. Michael B. Jordan, I thought, did a great job with his first directing debut. As always, Michael B. Jordan's a great actor. He did a great job with the character. The only problem I have with this movie, and I'm gonna try to avoid ranting here too bad, but I got a lot of thoughts. So I did film an out of theater reaction. I sounded kind of like a bumbling idiot because I was pretty hyped up when I got out of the theater. All right, my initial thoughts right out of the theater. We just seen Creed 3. I'm here with Mrs. Pops. You know, if this is my initial thoughts. I'm gonna keep this short. If this was a standalone Creed movie, if this was a standalone sports boxing movie, it would have been great. The movie was enjoyable, had some good boxing in it, had a good story. As always, Michael B. Jordan was great. And no spoilers involved in this, but there were so many moments of the film that he should have called Rocky. Rocky would have called him. There's one really big part of the movie that you can't tell me Rocky wouldn't have been involved. I understand that Apollo Creed is his father, but he never met the man. He was so close to Sylvester Stallone, he called him Unc. They had a great relationship. It makes no sense at all that they cut Rocky out of this movie. For the storyline, it makes no sense at all. The movie was good, but I look at it like this. Creed Part 1 was Rocky 7. Creed Part 2 was Rocky 8. This was not a Rocky movie. This was not in the Rocky franchise. This was a standalone Creed movie. The very end of this movie, this might be a minor spoiler, the very end of this movie, there's about a 5 or 10 second clip where they play the fucking Rocky music. Just to give you that fucking little oomph at the end. You put 5 or 6 minutes worth of scenes of Sylvester Stallone in this movie, it's epic. But the whole entire movie, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why would he not call his Uncle Rocky? Why wouldn't he call Unc? Unc would have called him. And once you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't tell me that Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, wouldn't have been at this one event in the movie. So, I'm pretty conflicted. That's all I got to say for now. I enjoyed the movie, but, you know, there's so many things about it I have problems with. But it is what it is. You know, great standalone movie, not part of the Rocky universe in my mind. And I'm going to try not to do any spoilers of this movie. You may want to go watch the movie before you hear me rant, because in my rants, I'll try to cut out any major spoilers I talk about, whatever. But I'm going to try to get as coherent as I can with this review, because, like I said, I woke up this morning thinking about this, still pretty upset. Now, first off, I want to say Creed 3 was a good movie. Again, Michael B. Jordan's always great. I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan. You know, if they want to make 10 more of these movies, I'll go see every one of them. The only problem that I have with this movie here is what they did with the Rocky character. I understand Sylvester Stallone was not involved in the movie. I understand all that. And don't get me wrong, I'm the last person that wants to see them kill off the Rocky character. Sylvester Stallone never wanted Rocky to be killed off. He said that, you know, originally he was going to kill him off whatever for Part 5. But he said, you know, Rocky was an American icon. You can't really kill him off. He was going to let him just kind of ride off in the sunset. And that's fine. But the way they did it in this movie, they almost made a point not to mention Rocky in this movie. You know, there's scenes in the movie where, you know, you're in Michael B. Jordan's house. He's obviously super successful. You know, this is close to the end of his career. And you're like in his man cave basement. He has all of his boxing gloves, boxing trunks, his belts, all on the wall, all displayed. Not one picture, not one item at all from Rocky. Nothing from him and his dad's past fights. Nothing like that at all. It's almost like they intentionally made sure that Rocky did not exist in this universe anymore. He's not mentioned. I think there's one time in the film, and again, I've watched it one time, and I was shaking my head a lot watching the movie. And I know my wife probably got tired of hearing me say, how come he don't call Unc? You know, he always called Rocky Balboa Unc, which I loved. I was like, how come he didn't call his Unc whatever? How come he didn't call Rocky? How come Rocky didn't call him to congratulate him? How come Rocky didn't call, you know, during certain times of the movie? I'm not going to spoil this, but there's one really big part of the movie that there's no doubt Rocky wouldn't have been there. And once you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it showed, like, I think it only showed one picture. Like I said, I watched it one time. I think it only showed one picture of Apollo Creed standing there in his trunks, whatever, in the ring from an old fight. And it almost looked like Rocky was photoshopped out of the picture, is what it looks like. But there was not one mention of Rocky. I think there's one scene in the movie basically where they talk, basically he's given in the movie Creed. In the movie Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan, whatever, is basically, if you guys have seen the trailer, you probably know the basic plot. He has an old friend that he knew from back in the day, back in his rougher days when he was in the boys' home and stuff. The guy comes back in his life. He gets out of prison. I think he was in prison for like 18 years. And this guy basically had a chip on his shoulder, because Adonis Creed, whatever, went and became very successful. Well, this guy went to jail. Well, this guy basically, covered for Michael B. Jordan. So I guess he felt like, he was also a boxer. And I guess basically he felt like, Michael B. Jordan was living the life that he always wanted. So he comes back into his life, being the nice guy, wanting to reconnect. And then he turns in, obviously, to the enemy. If you've seen the trailer, you already know this. And his friend Damian Anderson was played by Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, now I have not seen the new Ant-Man Quantumania yet, but I know he plays Kang in that movie, and I hear he does a really great job. But this guy's a great actor. I think he's going to be a really good actor. He did a great job in this as the character. Now, I will say that, all right, let me try to regroup here, guys, because like I said, there's so much I want to say, I'm kind of getting confused here. Jonathan Majors did a great job as the bad guy. Michael B. Jordan did a great job as Creed. The problem with this movie that I had is in every single Rocky movie, even the lesser Rocky movies, and I'm obviously a fan of all of them, but Rocky 5, most people would agree, is probably the lesser movie. Even in those movies, there are those scenes, the scenes people go to Rocky movies for, where, you get that exhilaration, you get that feeling from a Rocky movie.
Fight this guy hard! Come on! He's no machine. I didn't hear no bell! Get up, you son of a bitch! Mickey loves you.
This movie gave me none of that. Now, the first Creed, the second Creed, got that feeling. And I know it was probably just because Sylvester Stallone was in it, whatever, but it's not just that. It's part of the movie. It's part of what these movies are great for. This movie really had none of that. This was a good boxing movie. It's a movie that I probably will go back and see. I'm sure I will buy the movie. But it's not a movie that, like, it doesn't watch it, whatever. It's like you get that exhilaration, you get that pump. Anybody that's a Rocky fan knows what I'm talking about. And this movie just had none of that. This movie didn't have really the heart that the other Rocky movies and other Creed movies had. And it's simply because Rocky was not in the movie. Now, that's my personal opinion because I'm such a Sylvester Stallone fan. But I don't feel like I'm really alone in that. If you go and look at Creed 1, look at Creed 2, Michael B. Jordan is obviously the central character. But there's something about Sylvester Stallone and Creed, the relationship that they built from 1 and 2. And then the way they do it in this movie, it almost diminishes that from part 1 and 2. Hope that makes sense. But it makes no sense how they don't give any explanation whatsoever about where he's at. Even if you're not going to have him on screen, at least mention him. At least when you're showing, your room, whatever, down to your buddy, whatever you hadn't seen in 18 years. You figured even the friend would be asking, what's it like, meeting Rocky? I mean, all this stuff, whatever. You figured there would be some kind of conversation or some back and forth. I don't know. It felt, like I said, I couldn't get past it. So it lessened the movie for me because of that. And this probably ain't going to make sense to a lot of people, but in my mind, Creed 1 was basically Rocky 7. Creed 2 was basically Rocky 8. And this is a standalone Creed movie. Like I said, make 10 more of them. I'm sure I'll see them. And I understand he's passing the torch. I do. I understand all that. But the movies going forward are going to be missing a lot. And like I said, if they can end the Rocky story the right way, and at least explain it off. Rocky's in bad health. Maybe in the movies just, say something. Have him go visit, God forbid they were to kill off Rocky. Have him go visit Rocky's grave. Give him some kind of honor or whatever instead of just writing him out of the story. It's one of the worst things ever. I can't really recommend this movie to other Rocky fans because I feel like most people that are true hardcore Rocky fans are going to walk out of this movie feeling pretty much the same way that I did. I may be wrong about that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a psychopath. I don't know. But all I know is my final thoughts on this movie is Michael B. Jordan. I think he's got a bright future. Everything I've ever seen him in, he's a great actor. I think this is a really good directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan. But as far as the Rocky world, the Rocky franchise, no. You can't put a movie in a Rocky franchise and the Rocky. You can't put a movie in the Rocky universe, whatever, and not mention Rocky. You just can't do it. I understand that moving forward, this is a Creed franchise, not a Rocky franchise. I understand that. Still get my mind wrapped around that. But you can't continue the story, especially the first one out of the gate, whatever, that Rocky's not going to be in, and not mention the character at all. Big flaw. I mean, Rocky doesn't have to even be in the movie. At least mention him. You know, give some kind of story, some kind of whatever, that why Rocky's not available to come to his big fight. You know, to come to, you know, his wife's big premiere song party, whatever the hell that was. Yeah, there's so many holes that this movie has, whatever, because they intentionally, it seemed to me, there's no Rocky. Don't mention him. I don't want a picture. I don't want shit. There ain't nothing from Rocky in this movie. I don't know. I'm just repeating myself now at this point, guys. Like I said, if you go see it, comment down below your thoughts. Let me know if I'm crazy or not. You know, if they're going to move forward with this story, great. I don't know, guys. That's my final thoughts. That's all I got to say about it for now. But I think when I get done filming this, I'm going to go watch my Rocky 4K, check out that transfer. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I think that'll make me feel a lot better. So at least we got the first 2 Creed movies. We got all the Rocky movies for me to enjoy. Like I said, I'll buy this movie when it comes out. Rocky franchise, it's not. Creed franchise, yeah, solid movie, solid boxing movie. But yeah, guys, it's I kind of walked out there. I felt like I needed to shower. I feel like, I feel like, you know, I don't know. It's hard. It was hard to process the way they did the Rocky character in this movie. It's just, I just felt like it wasn't right. It just wasn't right. This movie would never even been made if it wasn't for the Rocky character. And I understand all the bullshit between Irvin Winkler, Sylvester Stallone, all that bullshit. I understand all that. But it's a damn shame. And I was reading a quote earlier. It was actually on the IMDb site that Rocky was giving an explanation why he wasn't in the film and all his bad blood with Irvin Winkler. And he's like, you know, back in the day, whatever, when he sold the rights to Irvin Winkler, he had no idea this movie would still be around 45 years later. And he said that, you know, it's never going to happen. As far as him getting the rights to the movie, he said that the Irvin Winkler family's never going to let it go. So more than likely, this might be the last time we ever see Sylvester Stallone portray anything in the Rocky universe. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward, if they'll ever just kill him off screen, which has always been my biggest fear. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. Go see it. Let me know what you think. I really would be interested to hear people that ain't as psycho as I am. I would love to hear their thoughts on the movie, their thoughts on, you know, the way they cut Rocky out completely. But guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Sorry this video was kind of crazy. This is really early the next morning. We did a live stream last night, whatever, that lasted to about 2:30 a.m. Top 5 prison movies. Go check that out. It's on mine and Subjective Perspective Collective channel. That was a fun stream. Love prison movies. Please go check that out. That was a fun time. But this is about 7:30, 8 o'clock the next morning, and we live streamed to about 2:30 a.m. last night. So I'm a little delirious right now, a little short on sleep. But thank y'all so much for watching, guys. I always appreciate it. I'm going to be back soon with some more videos. I'm working on some reviews now that I'm hoping to have up, you know, starting this week. But as always, guys, I appreciate everybody's support. Hit that like button. If you ain't subscribed already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank y'all for watching this crazy-ass rant from this old man who's a little brokenhearted this morning. Love Rocky. I feel like it's the end of an era. And, yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. Moving on, shutting up. I could probably talk for 30 more minutes repeating the same thing, because I'm looking at this more like a therapy session than a fucking review video. But guys, I love everybody. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will be back soon. Everybody take care. Have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys soon.